All right, this is just your overview for the next major course assignment. That's number 4, which is the educator interview. Now, this is an assignment that students love, 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 or absolutely hate, depending on two factors, whether or not they are proactive and actually do it or wait till the last minute. And sometimes students are like me, where they have some social anxiety and it's hard to just approach someone. But then once you actually do it, then it's a great experience too. So I think almost all of you are going to have a great experience with this. The idea is we've been learning about different instructional practices, things, reasons we have schools, and now we want to think about the realities of being a teacher in the public school system. And so you have the opportunity here to interview a couple teachers and simply learn. Now, this is, it's scary, but it's easy as far as what actually is being expected or required of you. So I have the document up here. This is also in the module, but let me just walk you through it. Students are going to interview 2 educators, ideally public school-based educators, to learn more about their work and lives as teachers. Interviews can be conducted in person, by phone, or online, and then students will present what they have learned in a short written piece. And that's really, really simple. We'll get to that in a minute. So your first thing is make a list of great teachers, and you can utilize the great teacher list. I'll have to upload that. You don't necessarily have to do this. This is just a recommendation on step 1. Come up with teachers who have made an impact in your life. And one of these should be a teacher that you actually had. Sometimes students get stressed out because, well, especially right now with the summer, maybe you can't get a hold of people. If you're reaching out to 3 or 4, you're going to get a hold of a few, especially because a lot are around for the summer and have more flexibility with time. So one should be a teacher that you had. If you're in your hometown, that should be relatively easy, especially if you wanted to do face-to-face, which I highly recommend. If you can do it face-to-face, that's even better. But if you can't, do it via phone. You can even do it via email or social media, DMing. Send them questions, they submit their responses. That's fine. Our goal here is to interview a teacher, and there's lots of different ways you can do that. You're going to have the richest experience if you do it face to face, but if you can't do that, some of the other methods would work as well. I say contact 3 teachers. That way you make sure you get at least 2, and just say, hey, I'm doing this assignment for school. I'm supposed to interview some teachers. Can I interview you? And hopefully at least 2 or maybe even all 3 of those will get back to you. You're better off if you can interview 3. I used to have the assignment be for 3 teachers. And it was hard for everyone to get that much, but you should be able to at least get 2. If you can't get one of the teachers that you had that you most want to talk to, and you have other teachers in your life, maybe your parent was a teacher, or aunt or uncle or a neighbor or something, that, but you never had them in the classroom, you can use that for one of your interviews. So one should be a teacher you had and one should be someone else. If you're struggling with finding a teacher, you can reach out to your professors at SUU. So it doesn't have to be K-12. I'm even willing, if you want to interview me, you just need to let me know in advance so I can arrange my schedule. Then conduct the interview and record the responses. Now, this is really easy if you come up with questions in advance, because you can just have a document that has the questions you want to ask. Try not to ask them the same things that everyone else would ask. I have some sample questions on the back. But try to come up with some of your own questions. So I have stuff like, what do you like most and least about being a teacher? But you can be more creative than that. Come up with things on your own. If you have that prompt with you, all you have to do is either ask them if you can record the interview. So if you have a camera, you can even just audio record it. Or if you're doing it via Zoom or something like that, then you can just hit the record button on Zoom. Otherwise, just take notes on their responses and then just type it in. So you'll have the question you asked and their response, and that's good enough. So when you submit this assignment, if you just have your questions and their responses, I'll ask you to write a short reflection on what you learned and how you grew from doing that. But really, this is a really simple assignment to execute, because the value is in doing the actual interview. With how you write it up, and I don't care about formatting or anything like that. Make sure your name's on it so I can give you points. But that's really all there is to it. So you submit that on Canvas. The product, I said, once you've completed this, You'll know a lot of things, type up the questions and answers on a digital document. And then I do have a sample script you can use in reaching out to teachers if you want to do it via email. You can just go to the school website and find their email pretty simply that way if they're still teaching. If they're not still teaching, try social media. You might be able to find them on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. So here's a prompt you can use, and you can just copy and paste that if you want to. Obviously, you need to change out the things like teacher name and your name, but when I'm reaching out to a lot of people, I use templates like this and then customize it. The phone script is the same thing, just basically as the email, and then some sample questions. So that's really it. You've got a couple weeks, so you can't really delay. I would start today. I would email teachers, or at least find their emails today, draft an email and get it off to them and just say, hey, sometime in the next couple weeks can I talk to you? And then that's the hard part, is simply setting up the interviews. Once you've done that and you have 2 weeks to do it, well, a week and 5 days. So in the 12 days that you have to do it, that's plenty of time to set up interviews, but not if you wait until next Sunday. If you have it one day to do it, then you'll come to me in despair because no one responded. Well, that's because you waited too long. So do it now. I will ding you for late points if you don't get this done in time. So do it now. Don't procrastinate this one. This one, because it relies on other people's schedules, you want to start it sooner than later. Okay, I've lectured you enough. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing about how your experiences go with this educator interview. Thanks. Bye.